Hi, I'm Renae Kerrigan, Curator of Science here at the Peoria Riverfront Museum, and it's my pleasure today to share with you some of the highlights from our newest exhibition, World's Largest Dinosaurs, presented by the Gilmore Foundation. This exhibition has further support from the Ruby K. Warner Charitable Trust, PNC, Samantle, and the Corporate Visionary Society. World's Largest Dinosaurs is a traveling exhibition organized by the American Museum of Natural History in New York. We're so grateful for their support, and I can't wait to show you some of these enormous creatures and World's Largest Dinosaurs. Come on in. The World's Largest Dinosaurs is all about sauropods, the largest land animals to ever live. Above me, you can see the neck and head of an Argentinosaurus, which were some of the largest of these long-necked dinosaurs, or sauropods. Argentinosaurus could get up to 130 feet long and weigh over 90 tons. So they were huge creatures found in Argentina. Their bones are still being dug up today, as are some of the largest sauropods ever found, the titanosaurs, in that part of the world. So this exhibition explores, how did animals ever grow to be this size? How could their bodies support that enormous size and they be so successful? Because sauropods were some of the most successful dinosaurs to ever live. They were on our planet for over 140 million years. They lived all over planet Earth. Their fossils are found on every single continent. And they were very successful creatures who had a large part of our fossil record. This exhibition is all about how their bodies could support their enormous size and allow them to be such successful creatures who once dominated our planet. There's a lot of interactive and fun ways that you can learn about these enormous creatures in the exhibition further on. One of the fascinating aspects of this exhibition is the nature of size in an animal. What does size matter? There are so many different sizes of creatures on our planet, and it's not necessarily something you always think about in terms of the animal's success. But in the exhibition, you can see examples of a large bat and a tiny bat, and a large gorilla and a tiny gorilla, and a large birds and tiny birds, and how the different size actually affects their lifespan and their success on the planet in terms of the success of carrying on their genes, the success of the species. And then there's some other really cool examples of size and how that contributes to the animal's strength. So here we have the model of a human skeleton and the average size of a Homo sapien, of course, dominating our planet today. And then right next to it, the cast of a African elephant skull. And the African elephant is the largest land animal to live on the planet today. So their heads are much, much bigger than a human head. And they are very large, very strong animals. And they are successful in the sense of their ability to reproduce and carry on their species. Although human activity is what threatens their lifespans now most completely. And then finally, right next to it, you can see the hind leg of a Supersaurus sauropod dinosaur. So this just gives you a sense of, you can stand next to it, see how tall you are compared to just the hind leg of one of these absolutely massive sauropod dinosaurs. Get a sense of how big their bones had to be to support their enormous weight, how strong their leg muscles and bones had to be able to carry them across the planet, and compare them to the different sizes of some different creatures. So it's a really interesting way to think about animals and their ability to succeed, to live on our planet, is their size and how it affects them. Perhaps the highlight of the exhibition is this model of a Mamenchisaurus you see behind me. And this is a full-scale model, but not of an adult Mamenchisaurus, of a juvenile Mamenchisaurus. So it's about 60 feet long from tail to nose, and a full-size one of these adults could get up to 100 feet long or even bigger. So these were enormous sauropods, herbivores that are great examples of the family of dinosaurs that we call sauropods. And this model allows you to see on one side what it might have looked like if you could transport yourself back in time and be in the Cretaceous period. And then on the other side, there's a little biology theater where you can sit in this immersive space And actually projected on the dinosaur is a narrative example of its biology, how it was able to get to its enormous size. You can see it breathing, the way it digested its food, the way its bones were structured, and have an immersive experience learning about the sauropod dinosaurs actually projected onto the dinosaurs. So pretty cool, the biology theater and world's largest dinosaurs. In the second half of the exhibition, you can learn even more about the anatomy of sauropods, how much they ate, which was truly astonishing, how much they ate in a day, how their bodies digested that food, not like we do. They actually fermented the food in their stomachs, how they laid their young in nests of eggs, and then how they raised their young. You get to touch some models of fossils, some casts of fossils, and explore their bone anatomy of their skulls and their neck vertebrae, and then talk a little bit more about the various sizes of sauropod dinosaurs. So sauropod dinosaurs had a huge variety of form. The smallest of the creatures when they were fully grown were 20 feet long from neck to tail, and the largest of the creatures could have been over 150 feet long. So you really get to learn more about the family of dinosaurs we know as sauropods, or long-necked dinosaurs, in the second half of the exhibition here. One of the great things about this exhibition is there's a lot of fossil casts that you can see to get a sense of how paleontologists piece together the clues about these animals using just their bones. So here you can see the femur bone of an Apatosaurus, which we also know as a Brontosaurus. They may be the same creature, they might be different. The debate is still raging among paleontologists. But you can see just how large the femur bone would have been. Stand next to it and look, it's taller than I am, and yet this was just the leg bone of that enormous long-necked dinosaur. The Apatosaurus lived in the late Jurassic. This fossil, the original fossil, is found in Wyoming, and you can see it in more fossil casts in this exhibition, all about the largest dinosaurs. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, museum members and Visionary Society members, for all of your support, and we hope to see you here at the museum again soon.